here with Escape to Gaming. Today is just going to be one of those random channel updates, and I just kind of wanted to talk about what I'm looking forward to this coming year, what my goals and plans are. Things have kind of evolved with my channel the last year or so. I really didn't know what the hell I was doing. I had no idea, where I was going to take it or exactly what it was going to be. Initially, I wanted to do a lot of game reviews, and then I really kind of like just doing random rants and vlogs. It's kind of evolved into more of that, along with a few game impressions and a couple of reviews. So again, I really, even now, I don't know 100% of exactly how to do the perfect YouTube show. I have many friends that I like. I know what I like to see in other channels, and I've added so many new channels on lately that I'm trying to stay on top of all of them. And a lot of my vlogs are a little on the long side, and I validate not everyone has the time. Sometimes I'll just look at the time and I'm like, oh my god, I don't know if I'm up to an hour-long vlog or even 40 minutes. It's incredibly long. Even I have to kind of break them up into a couple evenings and real long ones myself. So I'll watch, the first 20 minutes or 30 minutes. I'll kind of keep track of the time. The next night I'll go back and I'll finish watching it. But anyway, I wanted to do a channel update and just go over what my plans are. I have some special thank yous that I want to include. People have been very supportive with my channel, especially recently. And just kind of talking about some, concepts that I have that I would like to apply with my YouTube channel. Anyway, that's what this whole rant's about. So I started my channel a little over a year ago. Again, I really didn't know where I was going to go with the channel. It's just kind of evolved over time. I just kind of jumped in with both feet, not knowing what the hell I'm doing. And I had a couple tips and pointers from some supportive fans and even people that I looked up to that I kind of follow them on their YouTube channel. And I would just send random PMs. Look, dude, I like your channel for this. Exactly how do you do this? And quite often people are cool enough to respond back and, well, you might want to try this or become a YouTube partner. That way you can extend your time cap. And so a lot of people have kind of helped me along the way. And I never forget that. I always like to appreciate the good people that have been there, kind of put in my life. I believe that everything is there for a reason. Some people just label it off, well, it's just a coincidence. And perhaps they're right, I'm not sure. But all I know is that I don't find it surprising anymore, as I'm an old dude now, that when I see, I kind of connect the dots. I met this person, and then because through that person, I met this one. Because of that, I was able to obtain this, or find some, rare games, or meet some new contacts that were helpful. With the editing or whatever. It's just fascinating how everything kind of interconnects. And so it's been kind of an evolution with my channel. I've just kind of initially was going to do just game reviews. It's all I wanted to do because I love game reviews. And I started doing just a couple vlogs initially, and I noticed I had a lot more people that seemed like my vlogs and rants than they did the reviews. So I kind of stopped doing the reviews and I've kind of focused more on the vlogs. Some of them are very short, some are long. I realize not everyone has the time to go through a long, rants and vlogs. I'm going to try to do shorter ones because I validate. It's just if some of them are incredibly long. Like I just went over my, I have a collection of TV DVDs, and it took over an hour and 15 minutes or whatever just to go through all those. It's a tremendous amount of time, and I wanted to archive those just so that down the road people can look and see what Dean likes in the way of films or TV shows. And they can take their time and go through it. It may take them a few nights to do it, and that's fine. I have to do the same thing. I actually prefer longer rants and vlogs myself. It's like I can't get enough of them. I find it fascinating. Someone like Dave from Lawn Boys Post 1975, I appreciate his short 10, 12-minute rants and gameplay videos. They're awesome. I love Steve Benway's, 45 minutes or hour. The longer the better. I can sit and watch every one of his Friday talkies, and I've watched a few of them, repeatedly. Just fascinating food for thought. I like this to hear people comfortably talking about what they like about games, what they like about life, what they enjoy about the YouTube community. I find it fascinating. So anyway, that's been kind of my journey this year, and it's been really wonderful. Now last year I had lots of personal development goals, just looking for and buying a house. Wiped out half of my year, the hellacious move. Getting this place all set up. I could actually do it. I'm probably going to do a little video kind of showing the anatomy of a game room. And I have all the pictures of this room the way it was before and how I primered it and painted it and set everything up. And I'm going to try to bring in more random videos, little road trips, game pickup videos. I went recently and picked up a couple, used PlayStation 2 Call of Duty games and just filmed my little trip there, and it was kind of fun. I need to get a better camera. I have this older flip camera right now, and it works. It's got good HD quality as long as it's on a tripod, but God forbid you move the damn thing. I mean, the quality it's kind of a motion blur deal. So this year I'm going to pick up like a new Sony Handycam, something that's going to be able to compensate for a lot of that motion. And then I'm looking forward to doing more road trips up to Lake Tahoe. We're actually exactly 90 minutes in the city of Sacramento, California. We're exactly halfway between the gorgeous Lake Tahoe and the wonderful San Francisco. And also Reno, Nevada, which we go to a lot of concerts. I even went to a rave, a Bass Nectar concert up there, like a year or so ago. It was pretty unusual. And so I like to take lots of little road trips. We're planning our road trip real soon up to the Point Reyes Lighthouse, where John Carpenter filmed his movie The Fog. It's a wonderful little town, great little bars and antique shops, and of course the lighthouse that was made famous in that film. And so I'm going to be filming that as well. And I also have a couple other little road trips. In the meantime, I've got tons of photos from going to the little hippie community of Santa Cruz, California, or San Francisco, Lake Tahoe, Reno. So I may do I'll do some little talks and small rants, kind of talking about those trips, and I may just show like a slideshow of my on my time away on those weekends. And hopefully you guys will find it interesting. So until I can get that camera. So unfortunately I'm not made of money. I can't go out and get my brand new PC right off the bat. It's a slow time of year. I've lost tons of bids. I've got a couple good ones that are coming through. I expect to be working fairly soon. I've actually got a deposit on a big job right now. I'm just waiting for the other carpenters to finish all the moldings and coving and crown moldings and what have you. And they'll be getting back into the painting. So you'll notice that I've had a rash of videos. I used to put out like barely one a week, and now I'm putting out 2-3 videos a week, and it's because I've had a backlog of ideas and concepts from late last summer, August, September, of rants and things I've wanted to do. I did a recent one on hard times. I was very apprehensive about doing that, but I've had a couple of friends recently. Some of them are gamers and some aren't, but they've just been hit over the head with just a tidal wave of just problems and hard times, and I felt that it was a good time to do a rant on that. As uncomfortable as I felt sitting there and talking about it, it actually was kind of therapeutic to get it off my chest, and it seems like it's been fairly helpful for a few people that have watched that. So I hope you enjoy that. I'm going to try to do more of those kind of personal rants as well. Some will be game related, some won't be. I hope you'll find those interesting. I've got lots of things that I want to do in this upcoming year, and part of it is going to be in the way of game collecting and my getting back into a lot of the retro consoles and games that I miss so much. I mean, it's hard to call the PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 and regular Xbox retro consoles and gaming, but I'm even looking forward to picking up another Xbox. I've already mentioned in a couple rants I'm going to be getting that Panasonic 3DO that I always wanted to have and never had it. I'll probably get a half a dozen games or so for that, and especially my Super NES. I really miss that. That's kind of a retro console for sure. I don't know that I'll get another Commodore 64, but I do the Super NES I want. I probably will get a GameCube as well. I'm really intrigued with some of the games, especially the Star Wars games and that. Maybe a Wii. I'm still thinking about that. A Sega Genesis for sure. I'm really excited about getting one of those, a system I've always wanted to have. And then, of course, the wonderful just regular Xbox, which I missed and had some wonderful games. And I really like just the packaging, even of the Xbox games. I like the overall industrial design of the console itself. The looks of even the games themselves, and the clamshells and the box art was really nice on a lot of those games. So I'm excited about this journey of collecting this year. I have right to the right of me, I've got a bunch of pictures now, but I'm going to be building a nice bookshelf. Big shelving unit, and I'll probably display some of my favorite consoles and have a lot of my extra games. I got a bunch of games in another cabinet over by my desk right now, so I'm excited about this coming year. We've got lots of great new games coming. I'm going to be talking about that as well, but the retro console thing is exciting. I just kind of stumbled across this PlayStation 1 right here, which I picked up just a couple weeks ago, and a rash of PlayStation 1 games and a couple PS2 games. And it was just exciting to just to kind of rekindle those old memories of the wonderful times I had with that system. I mean, I probably had well over 100 games for the PlayStation 1. I had a lot of them over time. I continued to collect them up into the 2000s, even when I had my PS2. And then eventually I just gave a lot of them to relatives and classic game room, and just over the year traded them in. And I kind of regret that now. I'm not going to be in the... whatever I buy from here on out, I'm hanging on to. I'm not going to get rid of. So I'm almost done with Call of Duty Ghosts. I finished Call of Duty 3 the other night. I thought I was near the end of it. I had like 6 or 7 levels left, so that took forever to do that. That game is buggy. There was a game-breaking bug in Call of Duty 3. I kept redoing the checkpoint like 6-7 times. I had to go back and redo the whole level, and then it was fine. So Mark Bussler had mentioned that game was buggy, and it was, but I'm loving this. Call of Duty Ghost on my PS4 is fantastic. I think I'm on the last 2 levels. I went on IGN, like a walkthrough, and I could see the different levels all broken down. I think I'm near the end now. And I'm actually been filming a lot of footage of me playing the game. And I'm going to be having a review, the first good review I've had in a while. I did one of Need for Speed Rivals for the PlayStation 4. But even though this game has been out for a while, just to add my 2 cents, I'm going to do a detailed review, mostly of the campaign and the single-player elements within this wonderful game. A lot of people already know, what to expect with multiplayer. And I got friends right now, even down the street, that just play the hell out of this in multiplayer. So anyway, that's that. The other newer games I'm looking forward to, they got this cool Rambo game. It's coming up, I think, in March of this year. I think March 25th. It got pushed back a little bit, but the new Rambo, it's a Rambo trilogy, or Rambo the video game, I think it's called. And it takes the trilogy of films and it portrays them in a game, from the very first movie, First Blood, all the way through. It's only $40 apparently, $39.99. I'm really excited about it. It looks action-packed, my kind of caveman game, just over-the-top action, the way it was in the 80s, and just the way I like it. So I'd pay $100 for that game. I'm really excited about it. I've seen lots of screenshots. The graphics look okay. Parts of them look really good. Other parts of it look almost PS2 or original Xbox-like. But I don't care. It's going to be one of those guilty pleasures, and I can't wait for that. They got this great game Thief that's coming out real soon. I can't wait for that. I never played the original, but it looks really good, and I know it's going to be amazing on the PlayStation 4. I really like stealth games. I like the setting of it. I still haven't played Dishonored yet, which I probably should get to this year, but I'm definitely going to play this Thief game. It looks perfect. I'm really excited about that. I love the art direction and the style of it in particular. It's very, very handsome. This new Dying Light game as well. It's another one made by Techland that did the wonderful game Dead Island. In fact, last night I just downloaded the whole game of Dead Island in my hard drive. So when my nephew comes into town, we can play it in co-op. I think that game is really best for co-op. It's tough to get through it in single player. It is possible, but it's designed for co-op. But this Dying Light, I don't know if it'll have multiplayer or not. I don't care. It looks like a wonderful single-player campaign with lots of tension, survival, horror elements. At nighttime, the zombies get really agitated and are a lot more aggressive. It's going to be a great game. I can't wait for that. I'm still waiting for Jonathan Blow's The Witness, which is going to be a PS4 timed exclusive. And I'm very excited about that. I love the Myst games and puzzle games in particular. This is supposed to be one of the most elaborate, largest puzzle games ever made. It's a wonderful island of mystery, of gadgets. You have to just take your time and go in any way you want, go anywhere you want, and a lot of the puzzles and the areas of the island connect. I find it fascinating. I can't wait for that game. The graphics look outstanding. It's a very vibrant, fun game. I can't wait to just trip out and just play that night after night. I would get the PS4 just to play The Witness alone. So I'm very excited about that. I've got a deposit down on the new Mad Max game by Avalanche Studios. I love Just Cause 2. It's a fantastic open world game. Enormous, like 400 square miles of ocean and islands. And apparently the new Mad Max universe, or the terrain and areas that you can traverse, are the same size of that 400 square miles. So it's going to be endless, apocalyptic, kind of Road Warrior style environments, and just all kinds of neat things to find and explore. There'll be the vehicle combat and the upgrading of your vehicle. There's an overarching story over the whole thing that looks fantastic. I think that, in fact, they decided they're going to go through and use Australian accents in it to keep it more in keeping with the original Mad Max and Road Warrior films, which I'm really excited about. And I think there'll be some combat elements as well. So it's going to be really cool. I cannot wait for that. I'm going to play that one hot and heavy and definitely do a review and first impressions and probably even an unboxing of that one. That's one of my most anticipated games of the year. I would say also the game, I'm not sure when it's coming out, but my highest anticipated game is the new Wolfenstein: The New Order, which looks incredible. There's a kind of an offshoot from Starbreeze Studios, which is one of my favorite gaming studios. They just did that game, Two Brothers, and the wonderful Chronicles of Riddick game, which is fantastic, which I played the Escape from Witcher Bay on the original Xbox. And I've got this Assault on Dark Athena for the Xbox 360. The graphics are incredible. One of the finest and coolest FPS stealth games I've ever played. So some of the people, the key designers from that development company started Machine Games, and they put a lot of time into developing this masterpiece single-player experience. It's kind of, in a way, another kind of a reboot of the Wolfenstein franchise. It looks wonderful. It's like B.J. Blazkowicz gets knocked out, or he's in a coma for years. He wakes up, and the Nazis have actually won the war. And they had some humor shots of the Beatles, walking across the street with the Nazi helmets on, and Nazis planting a flag on the moon. It's like they've changed history. And BJ wakes up and doesn't dig the whole direction it's going and decides to take the Third Reich down his way. And it looks really, really good. It's just going to be a really heavy-duty action, really heavy guns. It's kind of a return to old-school FPS shooting, which I cannot wait. It looks very creepy, atmospheric. It promises to be very intense. I certainly can't wait for it. I'm really excited about Wolfenstein: The New Order. Getting thirsty again. So those are my most anticipated games this year, and there's going to be lots of others too. I know many of you are looking forward to your own games as well. I'm still waiting for Drive Club, which will be the PlayStation 4 exclusive, to kind of rival Forza. The graphics are perfecting it. It's going to look even better, I think, in many respects than Forza. I really like the direction it's going. I don't know if it's a heavy cloud-based server game or not. I'm not sure. But I'm definitely going to give it a try. I know initially it was going to be free for PlayStation Plus members, and it was going to be an opening, launch day exclusive, but it's been pushed back, and it's been pushed back again, I believe. But I'm still looking forward to it. I love my driving sims. I'm going to be planning on getting GT Gran Turismo 6 as well real soon. It'll be one of the first games I'm going to get. I've seen so much footage on it. Steve Benway just loves the game. He showed some wonderful gameplay of it that sold me on it. I'm really excited about getting that game, especially, it has the brand new Corvette, the 2014 Corvette, which I had a chance to look at and sit in recently. And I love the attention to detail. It looks like a really hardcore sim driving game. So I'm looking, even though it's on the PlayStation 3, the graphics to me look impressive. It doesn't have the killer sound that I'm used to in Forza. That's the only thing that I've noticed about it. Forza really captures the raw, throaty, meaty sound of the V8s and the supercars and all that. But other than that, visually it looks very stunning. And I know that the driving itself is right on the money, so I cannot wait to get that one. But anyway, that's my game deal. I'm going to also be getting that 320 gig hard drive from my brand new Xbox 360e model. And then once I have that, I'll get my data transfer cable, which I have over here, transfer all the data over. And I just bought the other day, I've got a brand new table set up. It's kind of like a TV console deal right next to my desk. And I'm going to have a small 26-inch TV, which I have in the other room. I've just picked that up. I'm going to have that sitting on the desk. I'm going to have my new Xbox 360e there, my brand new Hauppauge HD PVR2. And then once I get my new PC, that's the last piece I need, I can set everything up right there at my desk and do all my game reviews and editing. So it's been a dream of mine. It's taken me like a year and a half to even realize the half of it. So in the meantime, I'll continue just to film in front of my TV with a tripod and a camera. I know it's a little cavemanish, but that's just how I do it anyway. But this year also, I want to finish. I mentioned that I'm going to be finishing and playing a lot of epic games. that my friends have raved about, and I thought I'd get into that. So, first off, I'm going to finish the wonderful Far Cry 3. I love this game to death. I'm just, after playing so much Call of Duty, I miss the freedom of the open world, and the incredible story in this is fantastic. So I'm dying to get back and finish Far Cry 3. I might even do a little bit of gameplay footage of it, and just show small, like little 15-minute segments of me playing, raging, having fun, whatever, of Far Cry 3. But I can't wait to finish this. That's one of the games I'm going to be playing this year. The other game I'm anxious to finish and do a full review of is the wonderful Singularity from Raven Software. This is a wonderful game. It's an Activision game. It had very little marketing when it came out. I kind of stumbled across it by accident. Later I saw one of Mark Bussler of Classic Game Room did an outstanding review of this. And so I'm anxious. I'm going to play the rest of this game and go back through some of the levels and capture some more footage and do a wonderful review of this. I'm also going to be replaying again the whole game of Wolfenstein from 2009, because the game is one of my top 10 games of all time for an FPS game. And I'm anxious to do a full-blown review of this as well. I like doing like 20 to 30-minute game reviews. Lots of detail of what I like. Pick out the nuances of the game. Games that maybe some of the larger game reviewers and game journalists kind of miss. But this game is fantastic. This and Singularity are just two wonderful games. I wish to God Raven Software was still here. I really miss them. And I like the direction that they take their games. Also, as one of my other top 10 games of all time is the wonderful Wolfenstein Return to Castle, which I also have on the PC. I used to have the old Xbox Tides of War as well, but this Operation Resurrection was a special a PlayStation 2 exclusive with extra levels, extra missions. They actually went through and made it more colorful. Made it a lot more exciting. I think the graphics are a big improvement even over the Xbox version, which other people have played. They don't realize this is really the optimal version of the game to play. And I already have all the levels unlocked. I'm going to go back through and play some of my favorite levels, capture some footage, and do a wonderful review of this. So I'm thinking this year I want to go back and take my top 10 games. I don't know if I'll be able to review all of them, but I'm going to slowly start going through and even old or new, and go through PS1, PS2 games, regular Xbox 360 games, and pick out my favorite top 10 games of all time. That, on my deathbed, these are the games that I'd want to play and replay. And I want to do wonderful, detailed reviews of them with footage and everything. So I'm really excited about that. I know they're older games. Some people played them. Yeah, those games are okay. And maybe, you don't have the same vibe or feeling about the games that I do, but I want to just share with you why I like them, what I think is unique and cool about them, and then you can watch them and maybe you'll be inspired to play them or try them if you haven't tried them. So that's kind of my plans with some of these games that I want to do, and do these kind of retro reviews. Also, I've got 4 games I'm anxious to play that my friends have raved about. I've always wanted to play this Half-Life 2. I've got to play that this year. So these are 4 games I'm determined to play that I have not played, that have been highly recommended from my friends and fans. My friend Gary from GameStorm in particular loves this Half-Life 2, and also has Team Fortress 2, which I'm not familiar with, and then Portal. Everyone's raved about Portal, and of course the wonderful Portal 2, which I'll have to get as well. But I'm dying to play this. This is good. And it has some extra chapters, I think, with the Half-Life 2 stories. I can't wait to play this. I started to play this years ago, and I'm going to end up giving it to my nephew, but I'm going to find on eBay another big, thick strategy guide, and I'm dying to go back through and experience, including all the DLC packs, the wonderful Fallout 3. So I have some epic adventure games that I want to play this year, and this is definitely one of them. I just got this recently for $20. I've had at least 6 or 7 good friends have, Dean, you've got, for the love of God, you've got to play Splinter Cell Blacklist. It's the best one yet. I know some of the purists that like the original Chaos Theory and some of the older ones had some issues with it, but apparently there's multiple ways you can play it. So you can kind of return to some of the real hardcore modes, or some of the more user-friendly modes for people that are fairly new to the franchise. But I'm dying to play this. I've got Splinter Cell Conviction almost done. I'm going to finish that first, and then I'm definitely going to be playing this fairly soon. And then this wonderful director's cut of the Deus Ex Human Revolution, which I've always wanted to play. This is the closest thing to the Blade Runner incarnate in a game. I cannot wait to play this. Apparently it has some improved, HD graphics, and they tweaked the boss battles and made them even better. So I'm dying to play that. So those are my 4 big games that I haven't played yet that I'm dying to play this year. But it's going to be an exciting year. I'm really looking forward to it. Last year I got very little gaming in, and I kind of regret that now because I just had so much going on in my life with the car. My wife had her car of 10 years was having tons of problems. I kept putting money into it, having it fixed. Eventually got to the point where I had to go out and buy another car. So last year was just filled with lots of issues, and I had to iron out my personal life, and my gaming suffered in the process. I didn't even watch that many movies compared to previous years. So lately I've had all this free time, and I had a list. I've got a big shopping list of probably 30 or 40 ideas for these little rants and vlogs, and the ones I really wanted to do, I put a little asterisk by, and I just said, you know what, I'm going to take the time where I've got a slow period in my work right now and just crank these out. So again, I apologize for putting so many big, heavy-duty, rants on vlogs back to back. I know that they're quite time-consuming, and there's quite a bit to them. I appreciate you trying to stay on top of them and watch them. I know they're very lengthy, but they're things that I want to kind of get off my chest and express myself and get out there, because pretty soon I'll be back to work, and I'll be back to probably doing 1 or 2 videos a week. So, and then when times get slower, I take little breaks. Occasionally I'll be able to crank out 2 or 3, shows a week in the way of game reviews or impressions or cool unboxings or midnight launches, stuff like that. I love doing those. I'm going to be taping more of those little kind of fun road trips and doing more personal things like that. I think that'd be kind of fun. The Escape to Gaming, the Escape to Cinema show, I finally got that up and running. I did a really long, look at my TV collection. But the new ones I'm going to be doing, I'm going to keep them between 20 and 30 minutes long, and they're just going to be taking 3 movies at a time and a quick little mini synopsis and review of why I like these special films, just my recommendations. And they'll be theme-based. This will be, 3 good John Carpenter films, or 3 great Woody Allen movies, or 3 of my favorite comedies, or sci-fis from the 80s, sci-fis from the 70s, the 60s. So they'll have like a theme to them, but I'll just do 3 films at a time. I'll try to keep it short to where they're watchable. I hope you'll enjoy that. Not everyone's into movies as much as they are gaming. This is still a gaming channel, and gaming is kind of what I really enjoy having at the forefront of my YouTube channel. But I'm going to try to do more personal things too. I'll try to do some inspirational vlogs and rants as well. They seem to be fairly well received and all that. I appreciate the wonderful comments and support that I've got on those. It makes me feel good for doing those, and I certainly want to do more of them. So starting the first of the year, I came up with a new time management scheme that's been working really well. I forced myself every day to just game for an hour, hour and a half or so. And I figured if I did that every week, I'd have, 7 to 10 hours a week of gaming in, and it's really worked good. It's just like you eat an elephant a bite at a time, so I'm finally getting through that backlog. I've finished a lot of games. I've played several games all the way through, 5 Call of Duty games, pretty much right off the bat. I've played since the beginning of the year. I've played a rash of PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 1 games, again, which has been wonderful. So my time management's working out really well. And I can actually see light at the end of the tunnel at making a dent, at least, in my game collection, which I'm really excited about. So if you don't make the time to game and do it, frankly, it's easy to put out. I usually always say, this weekend I'm going to game hot and heavy. And then the weekend comes, I have more goals or more household things I've got to fix during the house, or washing my truck, which takes me like an hour and a half to detail that thing. It's a monster. So my time gets eaten up, and then all of a sudden I'm too tired to game, or I'll just squeeze a little bit of gaming in. So I find that by just taking a time every single day to do it, you actually make a pretty good dent in your collection, in your backlog of games. It's working out pretty well. But another thing I wanted to mention as well, I had mentioned earlier about picking up a couple of these retro consoles, original Xbox, the Super NES, Sega Genesis, possibly a Nintendo GameCube. If you know of any great games, Dean, these are the 5 best games on the Sega Genesis or on the GameCube, or what I love. These are my 5 or 10 games for the regular Xbox. check these out or whatever, leave them in the comments. I'd love to hear what you would recommend, as I'm going to be collecting some of these retro systems. Some I had, some I didn't. Even the Super NES. I mean, I had a lot of games for that system. Probably over 30 games, but the games I liked, a lot of other ones I missed or didn't know about because I didn't have the internet back then. So let me know what were your favorite, Super NES games that you'd recommend. Some of you kind of know the genre of games that I like. You can kind of tell what I would be interested in. So leave that in the comments. I find that interesting. Finally, I wanted just to have a wonderful shout out. I just and a special thank you for people that have just made my channel so wonderful lately. I've enjoyed. I get up in the morning now and I look forward to seeing the comments more than ever before. I've had a wonderful new wave of people and fans that have subscribed. Thanks to Steve Benway. Steve, thank you very much. Your wonderful shout out has brought so many new people to my channel. And I have a whole new bunch of friends, especially a lot of them in the UK, Canada, other countries in Europe, and it's so wonderful to have the interaction with this fan base. And frankly, I think I'm more impressed with their channels than I am mine. I love watching their channels. I've subscribed to quite a few of them, and I'm enjoying the process of going through and watching their old pickups videos and their rants and the top 10 questions and things I like about gaming or they don't like it. I find it fascinating. I've really had a wonderful time. I've actually had, because thanks to Steve Benway and some of the new subscribers, I've had 2 of those people that have done some shout outs. One of them is, and forgive me if I mispronounce this, I think it's Shenmueso, who I've seen on a lot of Steve Benway's and David Lawnboy's post 1975. I see a lot of his comments. Just for the hell of it, I clicked. I try to do that. I've been going through all of my subscriptions and one by one clicking on them, and I've noticed a lot of them have fantastic channels, just chock full of killer retro gaming stuff, wonderful personality. So I want to give a special thank you to him. He did a wonderful shout out on his channel, which I just noticed kind of by accident recently, of my channel. He said the shows, the new channel that I'm watching now, I'm really enjoying. Thank you very much for your shout out. I really appreciate it. I also had Joe from MarriedwithGames. He's got a smaller channel like my own, and he's here from the States. And I think he follows Steve Benway, or through Steve Benway's shout out, he followed me. He did a really nice shout out as well. I wanted to thank you, Joe, for the time. I really like his, he's got some really thought-provoking, there's much shorter little vlogs, but just kind of things about gaming. A lot of the same he posits a lot of the same questions about gaming in the gaming community that I do. So there's just so many wonderful channels. I'm enjoying them all. And just a rash of them. So I can't thank everyone enough. I can't remember everyone's name or the names of their channels. But these were just a couple people that gave me a wonderful shout out. Again, including the wonderful Steve Benway. Even Dave at Lawnboy's Post 1975 added me to his favorites that he likes to watch. I felt honored by that. I appreciate the interaction from everyone, whether you have a YouTube channel or not. It's just very special. I really, that to me makes it all worthwhile. Is just to have a common interest. We can all be good friends, have a drink together, talk the good old times of gaming, think of the memories of things we grew up with that we loved about the 70s or the 80s or the 90s, or our first gaming console, or our top 10, desert island favorites. I'm love and just enthralled with the whole interaction, via YouTube. It's so cool. So you can follow me again through, I have a link below in the descriptions. Follow me on Facebook. Send me a friend request. I'll accept it. Just tell me where you saw me from or whatever. I also have a little Twitter thing. You can follow me on there. Quite often I'll kind of post what I've got, what I'm working on, and new uploads, things like that. So you can follow me on Twitter as well. But anyway, that's my little random vlog I wanted to do. Kind of a channel update, just kind of letting you know where I'm at. Thank you very much, all my good friends. You've been extremely supportive. I appreciate all the thumbs up and the kind words and comments. It means a lot to me. It makes me feel like someone is listening and that someone values, for whatever reason, some of my ramblings. I'm kind of all over the map. I know that, but I really do appreciate the time that you take out of your busy days to watch and to kind of take a peek into my life, into my YouTube channel. and to interact with me. It does mean a lot to me. So thank you very much for watching. Enjoy your wonderful games and movies. Do something fun this weekend. And thanks again for watching.